Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. This is our anniversary 1 year special. This is Two Catholic Dudes, and my name is Ryan Klaus.
And my name is Danny Cleary.
As always, we're not priests, we're not theologians, we're just two Catholic dudes, and we're talking about our faith.
And as Ryan said, this is our 1 year episode. We have been doing this podcast now every Monday for 1 full year.
Crazy, man.
Pretty insane.
Kudos to us for making it. There were some bumps in the road.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I don't think that we envisioned it being what it is when we first started. Right.
We were like, you know what, we're status quo. Not that we're bored, but we were just kind of chilling, and we're like, what else could we do? What extra could we do? And we gave it a go, but we had no aspirations for continuing. We're like, let's try one and see how it feels.
Exactly.
And so we really enjoyed it, and we said, let's make this a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And we just went for it. So that's kind of what we've had episodes. We're talking about a whole bunch of things. But we've had episodes.
This is going to be a long one, so buckle up.
Maybe. I don't know. They're all long. We've had episodes about your story. We've had an episode on my story, and then a whole bunch of other things. But this one's going to be our story collectively.
We want how we met, how this ministry formed. A lot of people, we get that a lot, that question whenever we do a Q&A and stuff, and we've kind of been vague on a lot of stuff because we would go, how did you guys become friends? What made you want to do this? Stuff like that.
We're not friends.
Yeah. But
trick question.
But we've been very vague because we always knew, we talked about it because we had mentioned doing this topic a long time ago, and we were like, let's save it. We're going to save it, and that'll be our year episode. We'll finally tell the story of everything, of where we got to this point. Because we wanted this to be part of that story. We didn't know how it was going to go, and we didn't want to just
do the story in October of last year and be like, here's our story. But it's like a lot of the Two Catholic Dudes story encompasses this last year, all the the roller coaster that it was, and now the roller coaster that 2020 is.
Yeah.
But this is officially our first episode that has a 3-camera shoot. Hopefully, if you're not watching, then this has no effect on you whatsoever. If you're listening in your car, then just picture 3 cameras. Hopefully it all works and you guys are viewing 3 different angles. But man, what a bear it is to set up, right?
Yeah, I got here like 2 hours ago, and we've been setting up and kind of playing around. We did. I got a new camera. We're borrowing a camera from a friend, and then we have Ryan's camera, obviously. But we've been really trying to. One of the big things about this year that I appreciate about Ryan, and now I kind of got the bug a little bit, is upping our production, is bringing the best possible quality to our ministry, to our content we possibly can. And I think that I can't wait to watch this episode back with where we are now as comparison to a year ago, and that first shot that we did, first episode,
Exactly. Now, don't count on this 3-camera shoot extravaganza every time because it's probably going to be a bear. But I love doing it because I love learning, and I've never had to set up 3 cameras and figure out all the angles and the lighting,
all the settings,
and sync it all, which I think I still messed something up, which is going to be some more post-processing editing. I thought of it literally as we started shooting, but that's what it is. That's what life's about, really.
Right.
Is not being afraid to try something that's out of your comfort zone. And yeah, I got comfortable doing the 1-camera setup. That's great. But like, what else can I do? How can I improve? And now I've been, like you said, I've been rubbing off on you, and now you got the bug, and you're buying all the stuff. And once you get that bug, it's
too much stuff.
It's dangerous, my friend. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so not being afraid. Maybe this 3-camera shoot's gonna look great, but there's gonna be certain aspects that it's like, oh man, that was we totally bombed that bit right there. But that's what helps us continue to move forward and continue to grow.
Exactly. If you don't try it and fail, then because you don't try something because you're afraid to fail.
Right.
Like you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're not giving yourself a chance to grow, as you were saying.
Exactly.
Or have something really, really great if it works out.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's awesome. I hope it works out.
Yeah,
we never know.
We'll see.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Also, we got mismatching cups, but we still have the Two Catholic Dudes.
Should we do a coffee update?
Coffee update. I'm still drinking coffee.
I'm drinking black coffee today because Ryan does. So I
don't have any like creamer or anything available for you.
And this is fine. I'd prefer a little extra, but
yeah. So I've had a really busy month. I'm sure you have as well. So
unreal busy.
It's been at least 2 cups a day to get me through these days. It's been, but it's been really exciting. So right now, what's going on at my church? We this week is Vacation Bible Camp virtually.
Oof.
My third virtual camp of the smer. You did too with me.
I did too also. Yeah.
This one's rough, man.
Little kids is tough, man. You got trying to keep their attention on the computer. You know, I imagine it's challenging. It was hard enough with junior high kids.
Yeah.
So with elementary students, I'm sure it was a nightmare.
It's wild. But then every evening this week, we're doing First Communion masses outside. Now, most churches are doing masses outside to accommodate COVID restrictions, but that means setting up speakers, sound system, chairs. We have a big pop-up tent, a huge tent that somebody donated, plus other pop-up tents. It's a bear. Then tearing it down and then doing it again the next night. So been doing that. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. We have a volunteer at our church who's just a tech wizard, the coolest guy, and me and my best friend Steven have been kind of his little elves, as what I call ourselves, to his wizardry, and we always help out and have been really, for a while there, I was going to every morning mass every day of the week. I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to 7 a.m. mass to get everything set up and pull the speakers out, and we have a big tarp over our stage. Somebody that owned a stage company, like, we asked them, like, how much is this to rent, and when he heard what it was for, he was so gracious, and he was just like, keep it for as long as you need. Like, I don't want any money. And it was like, whoa. So
I've heard that same story, and God bless all these people that are so generously donating to churches in need right now. Stages being donated, big, huge tents being donated, just monetary giant checks that I've been hearing about as churches are in desperate need. People are pulling through and coming through for them. So thank you for all that you guys have been doing for the churches around the world, whatever you've been doing to support, big or small. And
it's hard right now. And even if it's financially, maybe it's your time, because there's been a lot of people that are having to step up to, like, help out in the sense of their talent. Like I was referring to my friend Steven. He wasn't necessarily going to mass every single week until this COVID thing happened. And I said, hey, I need your help with the stream. Hey, I need your help with the audio. And now he goes to mass 3 times a weekend when he was going to mass maybe once a month. And it's been a way for him to kind of get back into mass. And it's been awesome to hang out with him and work with him to do this ministry together. And he's been so gracious with his time, and and standing in the hot sun all day doing mass is, when we're holding cameras, can be overbearing sometimes, but if it's for the congregation so that they can celebrate mass, it's worth it.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing that he's coming back more fully in his faith through this process, and not saying that you guys need something specific, like a job to do in church to pull you back from it, but like God works in mysterious ways. God will if he wants to get you back in church, he'll find a way. And if way for Stephen, our friend, is to get him, helping out and everything. Yeah. So that's a twofold. The church wins because they get him, so generously giving of his time. But then if that helps him grow stronger in his faith because of that process,
100%.
Amen.
Totally. Yeah.
So then the third thing going on in my church right now is that we just installed a huge live stream setup with cameras, robocams on the walls, software, like a command center, I call it, in the back room.
Jeez.
That we can stream to Facebook through these. But the company's all done installing it, but now it's up to me to work the software, learn it, set it all up, get presets, have classes with a team of volunteers. It's a huge undertaking. So I've been at church every day, all day, working on that in addition to everything else. So it's been a busy season, busy time, but this is a time that our churches need all of us. Like I said, whether we're employed by the church or not, we got to step up and we got to help out how we can.
And that's the thing, is a lot of people have been saying, because and I'll be very candid, my income was cut because of my salary was cut down a little bit because of the COVID stuff, because and a lot of churches are having to deal with that. And I was really angry at first, but it's one of those things that it's not the church's fault. It's not what they're choosing to do. That's just the issue of what's going on. And if I can, people are like, well, you work only when you have to. Then it's I worked my 40 hours in 3 days. Just getting ready for the live.
And I even
mass.
told you, I said, hey man, be mindful of your time. Don't overwork, but good on you. You're like, this needs to get done. And I mean, I'm the same way at my church. I'm just like, at some point, it's like,
and sometimes you gotta call mercy and take a little time for you. But right now the need is there, and I'm someone that has the time to fill the need and the skill to fill the need, so I'm gonna fill it.
Right.
And luckily we've had several volunteers come through that want to join the tech team and stuff like that, because and it's gonna be great, and it's another way to get people involved in ministry and to, just bring, more people doing things in church, doing things in their faith that they didn't expect that they could be useful. Right. I didn't know that my audio technician skills could be useful in the church. Well, guess what? It is.
Yeah,
it's
very
much valuable right now.
It always was, but even more so right now.
Yeah.
So like, we've touched on this through the whole year of not waiting to be like called upon personally. That does help. But like, if you're listening right now, you're not a paid position at your church, you're not currently volunteering for anything, like think about what skills you have, and I guarantee there's some way that those skills can translate to what your church needs right now.
Amen.
Or you can learn a new skill. That's a beautiful thing too. A lot of people have came forward and said, when I've been asking, volunteers for tech, we're going to need some volunteers, and people come forward and they say, I don't really know anything about that video system. I go, you know what? I didn't either, but we're going to learn together. And you're going to learn an awesome new skill.
Well, I learned how to solder wires.
Wow. That's one thing I don't know how to do.
We were sitting at the table having to fix audio cables, amp cables, and I'm just learning how to solder.
Yeah.
And I would have never learned this, but I had to for the church because that was what needed to be done. And one of the guys that's helping us knows how to do it, and he taught me how.
That's a great life skill. We should have brought up soldering on the Father's Day episode.
Yeah.
That's like we talked about head gaskets in cars and then soldering.
Yeah, soldering.
But it's also, especially right now during COVID, if you're okay with being with a few other people, you know, if you're not like in pure isolation, it's a great way to foster that community relationship with your fellow people from your church in a way that moves the church forward. Yeah. So, all right, we've
anyway. So this was that's like a whole other episode,
kind of, right?
But okay, let's get into what the episode's all about. It's been 1 year of Two Catholic Dudes. We've been busy, but we're here today to talk about our story, and I think it has to go all the way back to how you and I
on June 17th, 1980 something.
Right?
That. Not that. We're not going that far back.
Probably not that far. I wasn't born.
Okay.
So let's. You don't remember how we met, probably.
No,
but I do. Okay. We didn't really meet. Okay, guys.
You saw me.
So Ryan was in a band.
I'm considerably older than Danny. FYI, if you guys don't know.
Considerably, it's like less than 10 years.
Okay, I'm a bit older than
Danny. A little bit.
But when you're in your teens,
when you're in middle school, it's a nightmare. But anyway, so I guess when we met, I was in like the 7th or 8th grade. You were in a band. And you were doing like a middle school tour.
We were doing like middle schools, high schools around like a few cities around. We would play.
Right.
So we played the middle school at our hometown.
Yes, and like it was like lunchtime, and you guys did like a concert or something. And I remember like recognizing you from the church. I was like, hey, I know this guy. And I think at the time you were actually giving guitar lessons to one of my friends. So he knew who you were, so we like walked up to you and you guys like signed a CD for us. And I was
FYI, this was not my Christian Catholic band duo. We were just like a rock band.
Rock and roll band, yeah. And I was like, I got like a CD signed and I was like, well, this is like a nice, like a cool thing. Like, how nice. I know a famous person.
Totally. I thought I was a rock star. I thought I was famous.
So you probably
I was like, yeah, man, how much money you got for the signature?
Anyway, so some time goes by. And you're not in the band anymore. Our paths go on.
They definitely
our separate
skewed.
ways.
Well, they were never together.
I went to high school.
I continued on
your adult,
my adult life. Yes.
Anyway, and then later down the line, when you kind of got the job as choir director, and you would come on the Holy Cross retreat when I was a leader, end of high school, early into college. Before I was the youth minister or anything like that, you would come up and do music and things like that. And we kind of started to...
Wait, before that, you remember when I was still new directing the choir, but I met you at something for youth ministry, and I said, Danny, I feel like you'd be a great fit for the choir. And you're like,
yes,
I don't think so.
I do remember this.
So this goes back to actually calling out individual people and asking them to volunteer for a particular ministry. So I asked Danny, you should volunteer and
you said
join
you
the choir.
should come to the choir. We need more guys. And one of my good friends at the time was like your guitarist.
Right.
And so I think the guy you were giving lessons to, and I was like, okay, like I'll go. And then like day of, he didn't go to choir, and I showed up, and it was me and like 2 girls, like middle school little girls.
Right.
And I'm like, what? And it was just you.
And surprisingly, like you'd think, listening to the tone of Danny's speaking voice, that he would be like, his singing voice would just be a dream.
It's more like a nightmare.
It wasn't great. So he didn't sing the whole time, and he was just sitting awkwardly in the corner.
It was horrible.
And that was your last day in choir.
It was. Yeah, I never went back.
No. But we got to know each other a little bit better that day. All right, continue on.
Anyway, so then we would help each other. You came and helped with the youth, the confirmation retreats, random youth ministry nights, stuff like that. And we would kind of chat when you were there and get along and all that good stuff. And then I remember the time where we really became like friends was you were in the band, the Jeremy and Ryan band, and you guys did like a huge concert at the hall. And I was working as the maintenance guy at the time, so I was like helping you guys set everything up, and then I ended up just helping you guys with the equipment and everything else. And we spent like several days all together.
And in line with me going over the top in terms of production,
ridiculous concert,
way too much equipment in this concert. We knew
there was like 8 fog machines.
That's all you need to know. There was 8 fog machines in a church hall.
Speakers taller than most NBA players.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, a little over the top.
Yeah, but it was a fun little concert, fun night. We ended up setting up. We were there till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then just cleaning up and everything because there was so much equipment. And but it ended up being a great night, and we kind of started to foster a relationship and a friendship there. And then it moved on to
because you were no longer in 7th grade.
I was no longer in 7th grade. I was an adult,
okay.
So we could hang out. And then after that, we ended up doing summer retreats. A couple episodes ago, we talked about summer retreats, and we ended up. That was when your faith kind of came to life.
Oh, for sure. Because I was, even though I was in those, you heard this on my story. I was in those Catholic band. We were doing those shows. Right. I was just kind of going through the motions because I still wanted to be a rock star.
Right.
I was like, I guess I'll do this. But yeah, summer camps is what really did it for me, and that's when we kind of really fostered.
And I was like pretty into my faith already. Like I was already living it, and I knew I wanted to be a youth minister at some point, and I was like trying to get into these camps so badly that you were already on. And then when at least the high school one. And so I got in, then we really started to connect at that point. We started to really become good friends, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and then we were doing all kinds of good stuff.
You know my favorite memory of one of the early summer camps that we did, and I think this is when we really grew the most in our friendship in those early years, it was during music at one time. It was just me and Jeremy. We were the Jeremy and Ryan group or whatever. Yeah. But it was like a break, and the song of the year that year was Fancy by Iggy Azalea.
Yes.
And you just like, I was playing the little riff, Jeremy was playing the drum beat, and you just like freestyled the beginning of it at like a Catholic parody version of it.
Right, yeah.
Right? And everyone went wild, and they're like, you guys got to write that. And we're like,
okay.
But we actually got kind of excited about it. Jeremy didn't want to do it, and we said that's fine. We'll go write it on ourselves.
We were up real late.
We stayed up till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and we wrote the entire song, Catholic parody style. And then we went and performed it the next day or the next 2 days, and kids went wild, went ham. I ended up recording it, like the studio version of it. You came on, did the rap, and we bonded a lot from that moment. And that like started a spur of. We did a whole bunch of Catholic parodies through Jeremy and Ryan, but that was the first one that started it all.
Yeah. So if you're interested in hearing that song, we maybe we'll throw it up somewhere someday.
Yeah.
Because Ryan and I wrote that song together. We sat and wrote the lyrics and everything. And
it was like 8 years ago.
It was a long time ago, and then I performed it at like every retreat we ever did together from there for the last like 5 years. We ended up doing that song.
You'd be like a surprise guest. It would run on. We'd throw you the mic and you'd do the verse. So yeah, if enough comments are. If we get enough Patreon, no. If you guys comment enough, maybe we'll put that song up. We'll put a SoundCloud link or something like that.
We'll throw a clip of it on our Instagram
there
or something. I think I have a video of it somewhere.
Nice. All right. So that was a cool memory. That again, all these little things. You know, God's. We're on our own path, but He's like slowly bringing us together on our path together. Right.
And something cool about that, where it was like a cool thing, it was also kind of the first step in me and you collaborating.
Right.
You know, as just me and you being friends and collaborating, because I was always kind of on the sidelines too, collaborating with others. But that was like, now that I think back on it, that was the first time you and I collaborated together on something. So yeah, that I also look very fondly on that. And so after that, we ended up, let's talk about this. A lot of stuff happened. Obviously, we've been friends for a long time. I ended up helping the Jeremy and Ryan band as like just a roadie, whatever,
miscellaneous helper,
whatever things I would do.
A gopher.
Yeah, I did a lot of different things for you guys, and
I appreciate you for that.
Hey, no problem. It was a lot of just carrying boxes of T-shirts and stuff. But one thing that we did that was, I think, that took us from we're friends to like, this guy's probably one of my best friends in the world, is this one trip that we went on.
So Jeremy and Ryan, after we played LA Youth Day in 2015, we got invited to go to NCYC, which is essentially like National Youth Day. It's in Indianapolis. If you've been, you know it. It's really cool. It's like 50,000 people at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
So cool.
In the convention center, and there's just Catholics everywhere. It's phenomenal. Matt Maher plays almost every year. We saw him. It was great.
For King and Country played.
That's right. It was a really great event, but we decided to get a booth, like it's because it's an exhibit kind of hall as well.
Yeah.
And you can have your booth and have your merch, but it was going to be too expensive to fly all our merch over.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just rent a van, let's drive it all down. So we had 4 friends, and us in a van with all our gear, and like we were piled in this thing.
Talk about pushing a van to the limit.
Yeah, exactly. And there was some,
there was some things about it that were good, but let's just say Ryan and I are trying to make the best of any situation. And there were some folks that, when you're on the road we didn't stop, very much. So when you're on the road for days, it took us like 3 days to get there.
3 days to get there. Cool story. And I usually use this in one of my cool facts about this person. When you go somewhere and they're like, tell me three facts or 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
One of them is that I say, I once drove across the country without stopping except for food or gas, which we did. When we came back, we were like, let's cancel the hotels. Let's just switch drivers. And we drove 34 hours from Indianapolis back home to California. That was wild. People were a bit testy. Tension was high, and me and Danny had just the best time in the back of the van.
The best time. There was like a spot where it was like the 2 seats crammed together. Like everyone else had like the spacious like captain chairs at the front of the seat. We had people that got car sick, so they always had to be in the front. So Ryan and I ended up we were the 2 like skinny dudes. We got sandwiched together in this back seat.
Yep.
But it ended up being like one of the best experiences playing different license plate games. Do you know how many? there's so many times I think back on that where people were kept like getting annoyed that we were having so much fun.
I know. And so there's your life lesson. You're like, why am I listening to this or why am I listening to this episode? Just hearing about you guys, because this is a Catholic podcast. But there's always little nuggets that you can take from it. And I look at that as that's just a life lesson right there. Is that you have a option to what mentality do I want to choose every single day? Do I want to look at the one bad thing that happened in the morning and let that ruin my day? Do I want to let that carry the weight of that awkward thing or the bad thing, whatever that happened, affect however I carry myself through the rest of the day?
Right.
Or do I want to choose to let that go and focus on all the good, all the amazing things that are right here in front of me? And so, were we tired? Were we uncomfortable? Sure. But there was so many great things happening. The opportunity to play at NCYC because we're going there or coming off of playing at NCYC is great. Why don't we hold that in our thoughts and continue to have a great time together with
and it was like the coolest thing too, because there was moments, I remember there was a specific thing where we got to Flagstaff, Arizona, and it was snowing.
Yeah.
We had to stop earlier than we anticipated because the snow was so crazy, and everybody was so mad, and they went to the hotel, and Ryan and I immediately built a snowman.
I was in shorts and a t-shirt because we
didn't know.
Yeah, we were prepared.
Ryan and I, it's 1 a.m, we were running around in the snow outside of this hotel, and everyone was like, we're gonna check in and I was like, nope, we're building a snowman.
Life's too short to not have fun. Enjoy it. Stop focusing on the negative. We're gonna have a whole episode on not focusing on the negative. We talked about that before. Glass half full episode. Yeah. That's the way I live my life.
It is. It's something that I try to emulate from you because I'm not as good at it as you are. So.
But we can always learn from each other, and there's plenty of things that I learned from you. Oh, look at us go.
Wow.
Okay.
We're doing great today.
So road trip was a defining moment in our friendship.
So fun. Just a really amazing experience, and it really brought us together. But just like there's a lot of good things that defined our friendship. I think that in anything that defines a relationship in your life, sometimes they're forged in fire and forged in bad. And we aren't going to get into detail or anything, but like there was some moments of like real hardship that happened, and Ryan and I kind of had to lean on each other in those moments, and that also I think really helped build our friendship. When the band broke up and you were like betting on yourself and saying I want to do this on my own. A lot of people were upset that you did that. A lot of people were mad that you wanted to do your own thing and to do what was best for you, that you felt what was best for you. And I understood, and I was like, wanted to support you for what you wanted to do. And I got a lot of flack for that. And, you know, it turns out it was exactly what God had intended for us now that I look back on it all just now in this moment. But I think that was another moment of real growth for us, and real defining pillar of our friendship was that time.
Well, I commend you, and I thank you very much for sticking with me. And there's another kind of life lesson, and this could be parallel to our faith as well, is like you kept saying like, how could everyone be thinking that Ryan's the bad guy in this moment? Why? He's obviously like it's for the best. And so I am going that direction because I feel this is the way I need to go. I need to support Ryan, but like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here because it seems like the whole world is looking this way when I feel like I'm being called to look this way. But look at in our lives right now, and our faith is like the world, what's going on? What is happening?
Well,
you know?
And I look back at like a lot of the people that were like so anti, like, what are you doing? How are you supporting and siding with Ryan? Or why are you supporting Ryan and what he's doing? None of those people are even in my life anymore.
Right.
And here we are sitting here a year into a awesome Catholic podcast that we've been doing, a ministry that we dreamed of. And like it was almost like God knew. God was watering the seeds we didn't, we were watering seeds we didn't know God planted.
Exactly. But you stood firm in your beliefs that this was the path that you needed to take and support me, and we grew in that. But like again, paralleling that to what's going on in the world, and there's so much persecution in Christians. We talked about this in Gia's episode, and Catholics, especially in the United States right now, statues are getting destroyed, churches are getting burned down, Catholicism is on attack every single day, and now more than ever in our modern society, like when you tell somebody you're Catholic, they're gonna come at you, and and you feel like, am I taking crazy pills? Why? I felt like this is God calling. This is what I need to do. This is my faith. This is my religion. But you need to stand firm in that belief, and not and the whole world's going this way, but you say, no, I'm going this way.
Sometimes I will quote. Here's what I'll do. I'll quote Captain America, and in the Civil War movie and in the comic books. I posted on Facebook several weeks ago. Captain America says that sometimes everyone will tell you in life that you need to move, and in those moments, it's your job to plant yourself like a tree and say, no, you move.
I love that.
Captain America.
Captain America. Speaking of moving, we got to move real quick, take a break, make sure these 3 cameras are still working. Fingers crossed. We'll see you in a sec.
So anyways, it's finding those moments in your life where like you have to stand firm, as you're saying, stand firm in your faith. The scripture tells us, stand firm. Stand firm. Another awesome moment, I think, of defining our relationship and what brought us together is, I think you'll remember this, is we went on a Disneyland trip with a bunch of people.
Which, by the way, one of our priest friends, he has like one of those platinum
Club 33
memberships or whatever, and so once a year he can bring like guests.
So
we got like a guided tour between California Adventure and Disneyland.
It was insane. I can never go to Disneyland again.
There was like roped off section for fireworks. We got Club 33 and whatever club is in California Adventure. It's like, how do you go
like
back,
a lounge or something?
How do you go back to the regular version of Disneyland?
Like how do I go to Disneyland with the peasants?
But
it was a really fun day that was like planned a long time ago, and then when kind of the split, when the band happened and there was a lot of awkward tension between all the people that had already planned to go, like it was weird, and like Ryan was kind of public enemy number 1, and
I broke up the band.
Come on, Yoko. But like I remember very specifically someone I was dating at the time being very upset with you, and then in turn being upset with me because I was like, this is wrong. and like, Ryan is being exercised, and like people are kind of like with not being like vilely mean or anything, but like it was pretty clear that people were annoyed with you the whole day, and I was like, this sucks.
But again, I didn't let that ruin my day.
Did it, and I was like, forget this. And Ryan and I had the best day at Disneyland that any two people could ever have.
Your brother gave me advice, and I live this anyways, but he put it into words. When somebody's not having a good time, and a lot of times like when there's a big personality in a room and they're like having a horrible day, their energy will suck the energy out of the life of everybody else in the room. And your brother, Brendan, who's been on the podcast, he goes, you know what, when that person, when X or Y person isn't having any fun, I take the fun they're not having, and I have it myself.
Yeah, Brendan is also an eternal optimist. He's been like that since I've known him.
Right.
It's just,
right.
You don't want to have any fun? I'll take your fun, and I'm going to have double the fun.
Exactly. And so that's the way I live my life as well.
And that's what we did that day.
And you should too.
And that's what we did that day, right?
Yeah.
We Ryan and I rode all the rides together. There were times when everybody wanted to go off and sit in the lounge or whatever, and Ryan and I just took off on our own and went on rides and ate churros, and it was one of the best days. It's honestly up there with one of the most fun times I've ever had at Disneyland. And all odds pointed to this being an awkward, uncomfortable day, and we just didn't let it.
And look, that parallels what's happening with COVID too. That perpetual optimism that you keep. That a situation might not be great. Look, nobody wanted to be in COVID-19 quarantines right now.
No.
Nobody wanted this pandemic to happen and all the ramifications that are taking place because of it. Mm-hmm. But we have a choice. This episode is all about like choice of mentality and how you can perceive the world and your situations around you. And I have the choice. It's like, things aren't ideal, but I am having the best time despite it. Despite it, I am learning. I am growing. I'm working my butt off. But like, I am making the most of this situation.
You have to, and I think that attitude can inspire others, and that this is going to go off topic a little bit, but just kind of to your point of talking about using that optimism to help inspire optimism in others, because and this is like a third level of inspiration, right? Because so Ryan's been doing some great work. I'm sure you've seen it, of all of his audio video production stuff for his parish, for our stuff, for just general over quarantine. And that inspired me to like step up my game, right? So I bought myself a camera and I'm like, I'm going to do this. Ryan and I Zoomed one night and he taught me how to edit videos and things like that. So I filmed a bunch of stuff. I wanted to make it like a commercial for my parish for like outdoor mass. Like, how can we get people to come? Let's make it look very inviting and cool. And like 1 minute of just whatever. And I'm not saying it's because of the video that I made that I put out on Facebook, but in 1 week of posting that video and announcing outdoor mass and showing the video, whatever, we went from 60 people to 160 people in 1 week. Like from one weekend to the next, mass blew up. And the only thing that was different, aside from the announcements, was I put out that video. And I had so many positive comments on Facebook and in person. Like, that video moved me to tears. That was beautiful. And it really wasn't like, I just kind of threw some clips together that I shot on my camera.
But you put an honest effort in. So I commend you, and I told you this when you did it. Is it like top of the level production wise? No, but it is for where you are right now, and you put your whole heart into it, and you made it what you could make it right now.
Yeah.
And that was what transpired and what people felt in that video. Didn't matter that you knew all the little minutia of video production, but you had your heart in it, and it inspired people to come back to church.
Yeah, and like I said, and it took I took your inspiration and then put that into my project, and I hope other people saw that and then were inspired to go and okay, maybe I can give mass a try, or okay, maybe what can I do to help, or whatever. But we talk about that using your optimism to inspire optimism. Mm-hmm. What can I bring? This situation sucks. What can I bring to make it better?
Right.
And I think it's rad.
And this is what I do too in terms of helping inspire people, is you could wag your finger all you want, you could point your finger, you could tell them do this, but like, why not show them as an example instead?
Yeah.
Show them with your positivity, your creativity, your productivity.
Love it.
And get them on board, involved.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, back to our story. We're kind of off.
So Disneyland, we finished Disneyland, and now this is a few years ago now, 3 years, no, 5 years ago. I don't know. But we kind of like went on our own ministries. I was working. I started writing the Psalms at that point. That was kind of on my Psalm journey, the infancy of it. And you were really just crushing youth ministry. But then at that point, I bought my camera a few years back, and I decided to start filming videos for myself. Filming the Psalms, I was going to do some vlogs, some educational videos, which I should still get back on, but things are evolving naturally. So
we both decided like we want to do more.
Right.
Because we found ourselves when we were doing the thing with the band, we felt like we were doing bigger things than just ourselves, right? Because music at your parish, great. Youth ministry at my parish, great. But that's like one little piece of the puzzle.
Right.
So we were like, what can we do that's bigger? How can we do more? And so both of us kind of came to the decision of Ryan kind of again inspired me to do it, but he was like, I'm going to do a YouTube channel on music ministry. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to do one on youth ministry, or originally the idea for Tuesday Thoughts and all that stuff was I'll do my own channel just doing scripture reflections or just giving little text testimonies and stuff like that on my YouTube channel. So we made 2 YouTube channels. We just filmed for each other and helped each other and everything else, and like it was fine. And then we were at of course, funny story about that is Ryan bought so much cool stuff for his channel, and I had nothing. So
I buy all the stuff.
I had just my old camera and a tripod, and I was like, well, okay. But luckily, my first couple of videos, Ryan filmed and shot for me on his stuff. So.
Which still, you go back now and look at them, and they weren't great because I was still. You can buy all the gear you want, but you need to learn the skills to be able to use them and harness the power that they have. Right.
Right.
Little side note on. You started your YouTube channel. I actually had my YouTube channel already established from 10 years prior. I was doing secular covers and stuff, and I didn't have like 1 million followers or anything like that, subscribers, but I had about 3,000. And I was really worried. I said, should I start my own, like a separate Catholic channel? And then when we started, we're fast forwarding, but when we started Two Catholic Dudes, should we start a separate Two Catholic Dudes channel? We said, no, let's put them on your already established channel. But that's a scary moment. And it is for a lot of people. We talked about this already on 2 episodes, a lot of episodes.
When you have one audience,
you have your social media persona, and you might be all into the Catholic lifestyle. Whether you're youth ministry, whether you're in adult ministries, whatever. You're just like, oh, this is me. I'm 100% Catholic, but I only show the secular side of me on social media.
Right.
And so the secular side of me was on my YouTube channel, all just like rock songs or whatever.
Sure. And
I said, are people gonna? I'm probably gonna lose a lot of subscribers because I'm switching platforms to this is me, a Catholic artist now. But I said, you know what? That's fine. People are gonna leave. They want to leave, but people are gonna embrace me for who I really am at this point.
Right.
And there was some changeover, but I have way more subscribers now after a year of being on this fully Catholic platform. So don't be afraid to showcase who you are. As a Catholic on social media, on whatever Instagram, YouTube.
It was a stage of growth for you into who you felt you were called to be.
Right.
And some people are gonna move on with their life, and some people are gonna stick by you, and then new people are gonna come. It's just the ebb and flow of life.
Yeah.
So Ryan did his channel. I started a channel. It has no subscribers. I have like 75.
Nice, bro.
But like we were doing our things and like supporting each other, and then Ryan was talking about, I'm gonna start a podcast and like I'll have you on it as a guest for like the youth ministry episode, and I was like, that's great, maybe I'll do a youth ministry podcast. And back and forth, and then we were at a summer camp one night at the SAW camp.
Things happen at summer camps, man. Ideas flow.
Everything. And we're sitting one night, I remember we were leaning up against these big garage doors, and Ryan used to vlog summer camps just on his Instagram.
I need to do that more.
And
we'll talk about that.
I know. Well, we're going to get into that for our year 2. But anyway, we're sitting there and making a vlog, and we're sitting there, and Ryan goes, I want to do this podcast when we get back. Like, I want to start my podcast. And I said, I want to do a podcast too. And we kind of just had that moment where I think God was probably like, hey, like, why don't you just do it together? Yeah. And then we came up with the idea of let's do a podcast together. And we announced it the last day of camp. We posted a picture that we had taken, and we announced we're doing this on August, whatever it is, 1st or 2nd, whatever it was. Like, we are starting this podcast this day. Tune in this Thursday. It's happening.
Right.
And because we wanted to be accountable.
There's that accountability. Make yourselves accountable.
Yeah.
Tell the world what you're going to do. And then
exactly. Ryan was instrumental, ponied up, got all the gear we needed that we didn't already have. And we sat down and filmed our first Two Catholic Dudes podcast. We made the Instagram. We did everything that started all in that decision that we made sitting on the floor of that building. And then here we are.
Yeah. And what a year it's been. So obviously we talked about our episodes of the past couple years, or no, the past, all our favorite and least favorite episodes. You listened to those, or you didn't. So we're not going to talk specifically on, but the journey that we've had, just in terms of our relationship and our evolution over the year. Obviously, I moved down here to Orange County, the distance, but you make it work, you figure it out. So it's been quite a process, but I think it's helped us both grow. And now,
totally,
now looking back a year where we've come from, where we are now, deciding. So this is another deciding moment for us, because the reason we started the podcast was that we were at status quo in our lives, in our jobs, in our ministry. And we were doing a lot, but we could offer more. We could do more. It's like, I could go watch, 6 more shows on Netflix, but what can I do that's more useful with that time? And we decided that we wanted to have this podcast. Now, podcasts more or less on autopilot. Not really, now that we're having a 3-camera shoot. But once that you get that under control, we say, what else can I do? What else?
How do we level up again?
How do we level up? How do we continue to give more? And so, continuing to step up the production is one aspect. But so now our idea for year 2 is to create vlogs. So
our idea is, we want to continue our podcast. Obviously, we're going to keep it rolling as long as we can. But
priests in year 2, I'm saying it now. Father Cook's priests coming on. I've been on the phone with Father Cook, and I've been telling.
He always reacts to our stories.
Yeah, I know. We've been chatting, and he's trying to get camera gear and stuff. So I'm trying to get him set up with his own production studio or whatever where he's at. Then if we get him on the show, we could have more or less similar production values.
Other dream. I want the Catholic talk show a Two Catholic Dudes crossover episode. I want to do that.
That'd be awesome.
And then, as always, we said it our dream guest, Bishop Barron.
Yep, Bishop Barron, if you're listening.
Guest.
Father Steve said he listens to the show.
Really?
I saw him at Congress, and he said, love your show, guys. Oh, so, Father Steve, if you're listening, thank you for listening, first of all.
Yeah.
But we would love to have Bishop Barron on the show, or even if you want to come on the show, or anybody.
Whoever. We have a very... There's zero level of requirement. If you're interested, you're on.
Yeah. So that's what the show's about. We're just 2 Catholic dudes.
Yeah,
we can have 3 Catholic gal, Catholic dude, whatever. Or 4. We want to have a 4 guest episode soon. That'd be cool.
That's our next level up.
Complicated setup, but we'll figure it out. But vlogging, it's going to be interesting. That's going to be harder.
So that's what we've been talking about. Ryan and I talked about it a long time ago because we've been doing it on our Instagram and stuff. But we're thinking about actually putting together a produced, edited, filmed vlog where it's Ryan films what he's doing in his life, I film what I'm doing in my life. Obviously, when we're together, we'll film what we're doing together and kind of mesh it together and just film, what it's like. Because you guys hear us on the podcast talking about our life, but living as a Catholic is beyond just what you do, sitting at the table talking to the microphone. So we thought, what if we created there's so much awesome internet content, and there's so many vloggers, and there's so many podcasts, and so many everything out there. But as far as Catholic lifestyle goes, there isn't a ton.
Right.
So we thought, well, what if just 2 Catholic dudes made a 2 Catholic vlog,
just showing about our lives, and that's the point, is that you can live a Catholic lifestyle. You don't have to always be in mass. That'd be a boring vlog. It's just the camera showing you at a mass all the time. But how I live my life as a Catholic in all things that I do. Right.
At Target.
And now
wherever.
I want to shout out our good friend Joe Melendres, who's on the show in episode number 6.
I don't believe. I don't remember.
8 or something like that. Joe Melendres, awesome guy. We've been chatting on the phone too because he's been trying to level up his production.
Right.
So he was asking me all about my gear, but he just posted his first vlog. He's starting to get into the vlog game, and it was literally just a vlog of him putting sod down in his backyard. But the journey journey that it took. It was like a 6-minute vlog, but he's been watching a lot of like Casey Neistat. If you're on YouTube, he's like the number one vlogger. Peter McKinnon, all those guys, and so they're like level 100 in terms of
they have
production.
like people that film them, plus they film themselves. And all that.
Casey does a lot of his on his own, but
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But so he did a lot of the production quality, and he's still learning, but like again, he just did it. He just went for it.
Right.
And he can continue to learn and grow. But when you do a vlog and you want to make it like cool like that, you have to like everything that you do takes way longer. And you have to fully commit to it. So there were shots of him going to Home Depot or Lowe's or both to get like the saw, to get the like a pickaxe or something like that. And so when he's walking into Home Depot, he literally has to set his camera down on the ground on like a little stand, set up the shot, make it look nice, hit record, and then film him walking for like 50 yards, and then run back and grab the camera, stop recording, and then he went into Home Depot and he like went down an aisle, set the shot up looking at the pickaxes, hit record, walked out of frame, walked back into frame, grabbed the pickaxe, and was like, got the pickaxe. But like you have to like put so much more effort into just your everyday life to make those shots. People take it for granted. They think someone's following you around with a camera, but like you just have to do it yourself,
right,
and add all that extra time. So good job, Joe. It looked really great, and that's the kind of thing that we're gonna look into
totally
to doing for our own.
So it's something that we're discussing, that we're thinking about. If it's something that you guys are interested in, please leave a comment, leave a like, let us know. It is a 2 Catholic. We did a poll on our Instagram, and it was pretty 75-25 of our followers that would watch if we did a 2 Catholic Dudes vlog. So if that's something that you think would be cool,
it's a solid C. I'll take that.
Yeah, let us know if you're if that's something that you'd be interested in. I just got a brand new like vlog camera, so it would be some good stuff, and we do some right now. It'd be just a lot of COVID.
Ideally, I'd show like all of what's going on with my live stream setup and filming First Communion and stuff. It's just I'm so busy, but like you find the time. You find the time for what's most important.
And we were talking about the reason we want to do it too is it motivates you to do things. It motivates you to go do things and grow and do interesting stuff because you want to have interesting content. Nobody wants to see me sitting playing Xbox all day long. Right? Nobody wants to see.
There's Twitch for that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see Ryan at his computer for 12 hours with the camera on, editing mindlessly. Like it will motivate us and hopefully inspire us to go out and do more exciting things, to meet new exciting people, to and obviously bring that Catholic lifestyle to those things.
So there's the nugget of information for people. Maybe you're not going to go start a vlog. Maybe that's not for you. But you find yourself stuck inside. We all find ourselves stuck inside. But like, how can we get out of our comfort zone?
Yeah.
How are we called for more? And what can you do that might ignite that spark that will get you out of your comfort zone, right? So for us, it's starting the vlog that might get us out. But like I don't know what it is. You're going to have to answer that question for yourself. What is it that's going to pull me out of that spot that I'm in?
And that's the thing is how do we know that God wants us out of our comfort zone? And I think we look to the scriptures. Look at everybody that God called upon. Moses, David, Peter, Paul, John, like all these guys, Mary, Joseph, all of these people, he ripped out of their comfort zone.
They were chilling. They were living their best life, they thought.
And like St. Peter is the one that I think about the most. He was just a fisherman. He knew what he was doing. He knew what his career was. He was like, I'm a fisherman, and that's what I'm going to be. That's what if I have a family, that's what they will be. That's what I do. And Jesus came and went, nope, you're changing the whole landscape of what you think that you're going to do. I'm changing it right now. I need you to come with me. Boom. Comfort zone, goodbye.
Most difficult decision.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at Moses. He thought, I'm an Egyptian prince. Got it made. Just kidding. Boom. God rips him out of his comfort zone. David thought he was just the runt of the litter. Boom. I need you to slay the giant. Like, it's God rips people out of their comfort zones to do his work, to do amazing things. And that's not just cool stories for us to read. That's examples of what God wants to do in your life. God wants to rip you out of your comfort zone to do amazing things for him.
And look, that journey's not going to be easy. It's a difficult decision to make even in the first for the first part. But then, like, do you think it was easy for Moses to part the sea? He probably just go like, See ya. That probably took effort, but then spending 40 years in the desert. Do you think we always just like trivialize that battle between David and Goliath? But I'm sure it wasn't just
probably super nerve-wracking. Probably
it was an intense battle. So we are going to be going through an intense battle with whatever decision we are faced with and whatever journey that God is putting us on. But it's important to answer that call,
and it may require sacrifice of things that we or change in our life.
That's right.
Know? And I look at, let's go back to our story of the two Catholic dudes. When I was first starting to do this online content, my YouTube channel, the people in my life certain people in my life were not supportive of that. They were like, why bother? What's the point? And, that ended up being a changing moment in the relationships that I had with people, where I stopped kind of interacting and relationships ended and friendships changed. And for me to then pursue this, for me to be doing what I love. And I found amazing people in my life now that fully support me and are pushing me to do this. But it required, at the time, big sacrifice and change to get out of that comfort zone that I was living in, to get where God was calling me to be, or at least where I feel that God is calling me to be. And I'm sure that he's going to rip me out of a comfort zone again at some point and make me do new things. But sacrifice, change, it goes back to what we were talking about just earlier. When those things happen, when sacrifice, when change, when you have to be ripped from your comfort zone, look for that optimism. What good is coming of those things we talked about earlier? What benefit, what positive is in these things that you can use in your life?
Mm-hmm. Wow. And you never know unless you're going to, if you have that right mindset of that positivity, the opportunities will present themselves. I'm going back to Joe setting up that camera in Home Depot for his vlog, right? How awkward that must be. People are going to walk down, they're looking at him like, what is this guy doing? Maybe even an employee was like, hey man, I don't think you can film here. And so, but maybe somebody walking by saw him and they, hey, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm filming a Catholic vlog. That's an opportunity to evangelize, to share his faith with somebody. And that, again, that vlog was about putting sod down in his lawn. But you never know how your extra effort, how God pulling you from your comfort zone, that took him a lot more time than just going to Home Depot and buying the thing and taking off, right? He put that extra effort in. It was a challenge. It was difficult. People looked at him like, what the heck? But he might, who knows but if he had that right mindset of positivity, you never know what amazing things are going to come from that opportunity that God's giving you.
Absolutely true. So yeah, huge shout out. Go check out Joe's new vlog. If you're listening and you haven't yet, go check out Joe. Support him. And but yeah, it's about optimism, guys. I think that's the whole point of this episode. This was kind of about our story, but I think our story is that we found where God was calling us to go, and God brought us together through looking for the positives in negatives and living in them. Choosing positive, choosing optimism, choosing God, choosing joy, choosing to live out your faith in a very positive way. And that's what we hope that we are for a lot of people, is that we are examples of how you can live your faith positively, boldly, and you don't have to be afraid. You can just be a Catholic dude and
or
live
gal
and live your faith. And it can be an impact on a lot of people's lives. And we hope that this year of these shows have impacted people's lives and have helped people's faith journeys and have brought people optimism.
Speaking of the people that we've hopefully impacted their lives, we want to shout out very special people that have impacted our lives by their generosity, giving to us on Patreon, which if you guys are interested, patreon.com/2CatholicDudes. We kept saying it, but we want to specifically shout out all of our patrons that have been so generously supporting us from the year.
I was just doing first names. We got Adam, Aaron, Julie, Melina, Sean, Ellis, and of course the Fredrickson family. All of you guys that support us on Patreon. We can't express enough what your generosity means to us, and just that you believe in us and believe in our ministry enough to support us in that way. We thank you a ton. And So just thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We're gonna reach out and get you some mugs this week.
Yeah, if I'm going to be sending you a private message, those of you that I have on social media to get, to get away. And if you're interested in signing up on Patreon, please, if you have a question or anything like, reach out to us personally, and we'll be happy to.
And we're going to work on getting our merch. Right now it's just a mug, but everything's set up through Patreon. So if you guys subscribe, you should, if you're at a certain level, that you should get that mug automatically. I know there's a way to do that. We're going to work on it.
Yeah.
So, so continue. We thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, and we encourage you, if you have the extra money that you want to help support our ministry, to help us continue to grow in year 2. We can't thank you enough. But also, we love connecting with you guys all on our social media platforms. Generally, it's on Instagram, but we've upping on Facebook lately. So
yeah, we've been way better on Facebook lately.
Right. We have a multi-post situation happening. So reach out to us wherever you are most active, and we want to chat with you. Tell us your story. We even if you share a 4-page comment, we'll reading through those. We'll read it. We will comment back. We will chat with you guys. Tell us how this year has hopefully affected you positively, and what's been going on in your lives. We want to hear from you guys what's going on in your particular faith journey, because we are a community together. We are one Catholic Church. We are worldwide. We are unified through this pandemic, now and always.
Amen. So I think that's a wrap, guys. Year 1 of Two Catholic Dudes. We got a lot of fun stuff coming next year planned. We got a lot of big things that we're hopefully going to do, and we'll be praying for you always, and we appreciate you guys. So we'll see you guys
next time.
All
right.
Peace.